Richie B, the party master, on Up and Go.
As we say good morning to you on day number 30 in the month of December 2021. Today happens to be the eve of New Year's Eve. That's right. And this is Up and Go. We're here with you until 11 o'clock this morning. My name is Richie B. How's your morning going? Wow. Omicron is taking the world by storm. Almost everywhere that almost every news portal that we check out, we're getting reports of rising cases, rapidly rising cases of COVID-19, in particular caused by the Omicron variant. And we're also seeing, interestingly, that two new vaccines have been developed. One coming out of Houston in Texas, which has now been accepted by India, and that is called Corbevax. Don't know if you heard about that. That's a low-cost vaccine that gained approval in India as more and more companies are trying to make COVID-19 vaccines available. This is a vaccine that was created at the Texas Children's Hospital Center for Vaccine Development in Houston, Texas, and it has received emergency use authorization in India. And we understand they've been doing research from maybe about 10 or so years ago, and they had some funding issues, but now India is actually using Corbevax, which was developed in Houston, Texas. We're also seeing where Mexico has granted emergency use authorization to a vaccine coming out of Cuba that is called Abdala. The Abdala vaccine out of Cuba has now been approved for use in Mexico, or some would say Mexico. So these are developments as far as vaccine approvals are concerned. But nonetheless, I can tell you, the world has a problem on our hands with this COVID-19, and in particular this Omicron variant. Heard words out of Canada, countries in the Caribbean. We've had conversations with persons in the United Kingdom, and everybody's talking about it. It's all over the news. We've got to do what we can. We're seeing rising cases here in Jamaica as well, so please don't let your guards down, because the pandemic is definitely still on. It's time now for WTF, which means what the fact. Yeah, boy. Now, you like to see the rainbows? If you do, I'm going to tell you exactly where is the best place in the world to see rainbows. And that, by the way, is in Hawaii. Yep. If you're an avid rainbow gazer and want to get your fill on the beautiful phenomenon, look no further than the state of Hawaii. A study which was published by the American Meteorological Society in 2021 has noted that the area's mountains produce sharp gradients in clouds and rainfall, which are key to abundant rainbow sightings. They say air pollution, pollen, and a large amount of cresting waves also help to put Hawaii at the top of the list when it comes to rainbow quantity, but not just quantity, also rainbow quality. So, be it resolved, let it be known that the best place in the world to see rainbows is definitely in Hawaii. If you're listening to us right now in Hawaii, we say hello to you and we wish you all a wonderful day. We're happy that the police have made a breakthrough in the robbery that took place recently at Red Stripe, where the company lost somewhere in the region of $8 million worth of products. And they have, in fact, I think they've held on to somebody. And in addition to that, they're seeking someone who is a person of interest. The truck, we understand, was seized along Metcalf Road in Kingston. Right? And the police say further operations led to 100 crates of Red Stripe beer being recovered on Ebenezer Avenue, New Haven, Kingston 19, and an additional 600 cases of Red Stripe beer being recovered at Bond Street in Kingston, Kingston West Division. So they are, in fact, recovering some of the products. They have held on to one person, and there is a Christopher Rose of 4th Street, Greenwich Town, who is being named by the police as a person of interest. So that's a good development as it relates to that matter. And we'll continue to see exactly what comes out of this further. All right? It's time for our proverb of the day. Let's hear it.
Dog no owl if him have bone.
Say what?
Dog no owl if him have bone.
Oh, that you say. All right, so dog no owl if him have bone. The translation in English: the dog does not howl if he has a bone. Okay? Dog no owl if him have bone. Let me give you the explanation. The dog is an animal which is very fond of bones. Agreed? We're all agreed on that. And it is not likely to appear miserable if it has bones to gnaw on. Similarly, people do not become upset or agitated if they are comfortable. It is also difficult for some persons to lobby against issues which do not directly concern them. Those are the best ways that I could explain that particular proverb. Dog na owl if him have bone. The dog does not howl if he has a bone. And people do not become upset or agitated if they are comfortable. Why you think me look and sound so comfortable this morning? There's nothing that's causing any agitation. So the Ministry of Education announced that students will return to in-person classes starting Monday, January 3. In a bulletin to the principals of all public and private schools, the Education Ministry says that this will be the start of the Easter term for all pre-primary, primary, and secondary schools. The Education Ministry went on to state that before students are allowed back in classes, the institutions must pass a health inspection and be compliant with COVID-19 protocols. We're joined this morning by Xavier Campbell, Director and Tutor at Surpass Institute, and Juniel Steele, a teacher at the School of Excellence. Good morning to both of you and welcome.
Good morning,
Richie B.
Good
morning, listeners.
Thank you so much for joining us, Xavier and Juniel. I hope that your morning is going well so far.
Yeah, man, it's okay so far.
I'm hoping.
That's Juniel who said, "I'm hoping."
Yes.
Okay. Yes. I want to start with you, Juniel. Give me, first of all, just a look back at 2021. As an educator, how was the year for you?
2021, challenge, a great challenge, as this was not foreseen, but we had to do what we had to do to make it work, because we had to prepare the minds of the future generation, and therefore we had to pull out all the resources just to make it work. It was very challenging, though.
Xavier, do you echo the same sentiment?
Yeah, man, I definitely can echo the same sentiment. It was a very challenging year. However, we survived due to the fact that we weren't able to see students face-to-face. Most of the sessions were online, and that came with a lot of challenges within itself, but we survived, and we give thanks for that.
Would you say that those challenges with the online presentations, that they were eased as the year progressed?
I would want to say that. What happened in the latter part of the year is that we took a blended approach at Surpass here. So we had some sessions face-to-face after following the protocols, and then some sessions online in the latter part of the year. But in the beginning, what we did was we had most of the classes online.
Mrs. Steele, the announcement has come now from the Ministry of Education in relation to in-person classes resuming on Monday, the 3rd of January. Do you have some concerns about this development?
Not at all, because the institution that I am at currently, we don't have a lot of students per classes, and therefore I think we are ready, because we have been fusing this for a while now, since October, whereas majority of the classes during the first part of the year were held online. We have been, having this fusion where we try to ease the students into it to get them back into what they're used to, having some classes face-to-face and some classes online. And I'm really ready for it.
Okay, that's good to hear. Xavier, are you in a similar state of preparedness?
Definitely, we are. As she made mention, we were slowly easing in the process of going back to school, face to face. So I think that the children are ready and raring to get back in the classroom, and I think that we had this gap in terms of the knowledge that is being transferred, and what we need to do now is just to close that gap, because it is very necessary for the future of our country and our students.
Still with you, Xavier, in light of the fact that now we're talking about the Omicron variant being here in Jamaica, we're still in a pandemic. Have you had to change anything in terms of how you prepare?
Well, in terms of following the protocols, basically what we'd have to do is just implement some more stations and stuff like that. But other than that, we're okay.
And for you, Juniel?
We are quite okay. As I said, the classes are very small. We just now have to enforce the protocols some more, ensure that everyone wears a mask. There's a station for sanitization, and also we keep the social distance.
Mm-hmm. I hear the ministry in their pronouncement making mention of a health certification. Has that process been yet completed at your institution, Xavier?
No, it hasn't. Not as yet.
And how do you proceed in that regard?
Well, what I'd want to do is to follow the protocols as best as possible, and as soon as they come to do that, then I'll allow them to, but I haven't been contacted as yet.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And Juniel, I have to ask you the same question, in addition to which we understand that there is supposed to be a process of consultation according to what the ministry has outlined. Can you state whether or not those have started?
No, only management could address that issue. I am not aware of how far the process is, but anything that is required, I am ready to comply.
Mm-hmm. All right. So, do you get a sense that you'll be getting a good turnout in light of what's happening with the COVID-19 situation when school resumes in January?
Definitely, definitely. Online schooling has lost some of our students, and not just me alone can attest to this. Students learn in different ways, and I'm a very articulated teacher, and I like to have my students before me. And when you don't have the opportunity to do such, it feels like you're not fulfilling what it is that you set out to do. And a lot of students have been yearning to come back. Miss, I want to come back to face-to-face. I can't manage the online, because there's several issues that they face with the online schooling.
Mm-hmm. Mr. Campbell, you get a sense that your students also want to be back in classes.
I totally agree with everyone. The students are ready to go back to school. The online learning, it's a little bit, what I say now, it takes away from the connection between the instructor and the student, in my opinion. What we are trying to do since recently is to let the students be aware of what it is that we need to do and get them to do it online. However, we see that there's a dissonance between what is happening in person and what is happening online. Mm-hmm. So we're trying our best to get them back in the classroom for January, and I think they're ready. That's my opinion.
Having experienced that blended approach, do you find that students generally are obedient to the protocols, or is it difficult to curb them?
I think they are most of them, because they're aware of the situation and what is happening.
Mm-hmm.
So most of them follow. But some of them, they have a problem with wearing the mask continuously throughout the day. So what we do is we try to give them a little bit of break and so on, let them go and breathe, and then they can come back.
Okay. Let me ask you, Juniel, what, as you look forward to 2022, what are some of the goals that you might have set yourself as a teacher?
For one, personal development. I have been doing courses which relates to online teaching. So that's one for me.
Mm-hmm.
2, also imparting this knowledge to my students so they can be better prepared, for the unforeseen. And 3, I'm trying my best to have them get the best results come at the end of the year, the school year, which is somewhere about July, August, thereabout, when the results come out, because I teach subjects relating to CSEC.
Okay. Mm-hmm. All right, those are your goals. Let me ask you, Mr. Campbell, how about you?
Yeah, man. So, with regards to what we do here at Surpass, we're a private institution that offers CSEC subjects, namely maths, English, and so on. Now, what we really want to do here is to impact the lives of the persons who come to our institution, in terms of provide them with that student-centered approach in terms of where learning is concerned. So what we want to do is to give them that which they are not getting elsewhere. So the reality is, our goal is to ensure that we get sure passes. Whenever it is that you come to our institution, you must pass. So that is the fundamental goal at our institution. And personally, that's what we want to do. We want to ensure that whoever we come in contact with, we help them academically.
All right. Dedicated teachers, wonderful talking with you. I wish you all the best for the rest of this year, and may it be a great 2022 for both of you and all those with whom you come in contact. Thanks for talking with us this morning. All the best. Happy New Year when it comes.
Thank you.
It was a pleasure.
All right, our pleasure. Thank you so much. Xavier Campbell, Director and Tutor at the Surpass Institute, and Mrs. Juniel Steele, a teacher at the School of Excellence. And as we wrap up that discussion, I see where CNN is saying this morning that DC and DC public schools to require negative test for students and staff. That is what is going on in Washington, D.C. And they're also looking to getting their school situation all organized. And they're going to be requiring a negative test for students and staff. Interesting. So, the verdict is now in, and she's now waiting to hear how long she'll actually stay behind bars. Because we understand that the maximum prison term for each of the charges that she's been found guilty of ranges from 5 to 40 years in prison. And it is not looking good for this former British socialite, Jaslane Maxwell, who was convicted yesterday of luring teenage girls to be sexually abused by the late American millionaire Jeffrey Epstein. And it was about a month that this trial lasted. Some sordid accounts of sexual exploitation of girls, some as young as 14 years of age. And there were 4 witnesses who took the stand, spoke about being abused as teenagers in the 1990s and early 2000s at Epstein's palatial homes in Florida, in New York, and in Mexico. The jurors did not deliberate for long. In fact, depends on how you look at it. They deliberated, we understand, for 5 full days before finding Jaslane Maxwell guilty of 5 of the 6 counts on which she was charged. And now she awaits her sentencing. This morning I decided to take a glance at what people in the United Kingdom are saying in relation to this case. And I looked at a tweet from Piers Morgan, And he said in that tweet, will vile sex trafficker Jaslane Maxwell now sing like a canary to avoid spending the rest of her life in prison? Piers Morgan says if she does, there could be a lot of rich and powerful and even famous people who are sweating in their pants. Yeah, it is a possibility. I don't know where the case is at now. Can she still do a plea deal? And will she provide information? The kind that Piers Morgan refers to as singing like a canary, letting out all the facts that she has, which could possibly see some very rich and powerful and famous people being brought to book, or being brought down for that matter, as well. It's not over until it's over. We continue to watch this one. And we say good morning to Janet over there in Toronto, Canada. Welcome to Up and Go here on the Bridge 99 FM. Good morning, Janet.
Good morning, Richie. How are you?
Not too bad. Thank you for taking the time to speak to us. First of all, what is Toronto like this morning? Is it cold up there?
It's cold and gray and gloomy.
Oh, my goodness. but,
Yeah.
but that's not unusual for this time of the year, is it?
No, unfortunately, no. It's the norm.
Yeah, I know. Janet, tell us about your own connection with Visionary, and how well did you know him, and what role did you play in his journey through music?
Well, it started about 28 years ago. I was friends with his family, and he came to Canada. He migrated to Canada to join his family, and I was friends with his brother. So as the brother picked him up from the airport, he called me. I spoke to him. We never stopped speaking until now. We just had an instant connection, friendship. I used to be an avid party goer, and he wasn't really that kind of person because he came from the church. But I took him around Toronto, Canada, showed him the way, show him how to get to one point to the next, help him to get his driver's license. Just a friendship happened. And out of that, found out that he sings. So in my avid going out, I put him through some singing competitions that were out there.
Mm-hmm.
And he won quite a lot, so he developed a following. At one point, they used to call him Baby Luther.
Oh, really?
Yes. So when I was tagging along and stuff, people used to say, "So who are you?" to him. I just said manager, and it just started from that.
Yes.
Started getting bookings and people keeping parties, so they would hire him and go through me as the manager,
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, we just started that way, and for the 28 years, it was just me and him on the road, traveling the world, bringing his music to people throughout the world, and he was always received, warm and nice, and like people are like, how the hell we have never heard of you,
He definitely was very, very good talent. I mean, his singing ability is awesome, and we've always heard that about him. So you'd have been very proud of what he was able to achieve, no doubt, through the music, and you'd have seen the passion and the desire to excel and to touch the world positively through his songs, eh?
Oh my! I can't even begin to tell you the connection that we have. Like as I said to you, it's all this time. It's just me and him. Mm-hmm. We bounced stuff off of each other. I encouraged him. He encouraged me, and because this business is rough. Yeah. So sometimes you feel like you're not achieving or you're not going as fast as you could. So we would talk to each other and just say, "Keep going, keep going." I've been there with a lot of adversities he had to go through, a lot of struggles, a lot of fights he used to get. And, it was just me and him. It's so bad that he wrote a book called The Hidden Agenda of Reggae Music. about his struggles and stuff in the music business. But yeah, we've been there for each other in good times and bad times.
Yeah. His name was very, very well cemented in the Canadian music scene, and that is a good thing. He seems to have gotten a lot of love, especially in places like Toronto and so on.
Yes. He's very well known in Toronto here, and revered. And everybody loves and respects him. But the Toronto market is not really a fulfilling venture to be right now, because there's not really a lot of avenues here. So, we basically launched out to the world to kind of, let him be more exposed and get more attention towards his craft.
Yeah.
And, as I said, everywhere he went, people loved him. He was a really humble, kind, respectable young man. He was never one of those braggadocious man come off the stage and say, "Yo, I'm just rip up the place." No, the first thing he would do is come over to me and say, "Jay, how me do?"
Yeah.
And he held his breath until I said, "No, man, you were good." Or, sometimes I say, "Well, you could have done better," and he say, "Yeah, man, no."
Yes.
Very humble youth.
Yeah,
very humble youth.
I see so many tributes coming in. I just read one online where I think Tanya Mullings, a good friend of ours, who was also paying tribute to him as well. So he passed recently. What really happened? Was he ill?
Okay. To begin this, he always suffers from asthma from a youth, and every now and again, it would get so bad that he would have to be rushed to the hospital to get some treatment, Ventolin and oxygen to clear up the lungs. And this time around, last Wednesday, we were talking, and he said his throat feeling funny, like he's coming out with flu. Mm-hmm. So I said, okay, watch that. And the Thursday now, he said, "Jay, I'm not feeling too hot at all." And so I said, okay, well, take the day off tomorrow and address it, because he's a man who loves boil up in bush and whatnot, guy. And though he's a very clean individual, where his he takes care of what he puts in his body. Mm-hmm. So the Friday now, he took off from work and boiled up his stuff and whatnot. In the afternoon, he said he's feeling a little better. So I said, okay, good. But now, come the Christmas Day, he phoned me to wish me happy holidays and whatnot. Mm-hmm. And he said he's not feeling too hot. So I said, wow. I said, okay, well, watch it. Because I know whenever he gets any kind of a cold, flu, and he coughs too much, his asthma chips in, because his bronchial gets swollen and, Yeah. So I said, okay, make sure, you can breathe. And if you're not breathing, just go to the hospital. Mm-hmm. So, of course, I went off to my family function, and I thought he did also. I texted him later in the evening to say, "How's your breathing?" But I never heard back from him. Mm-hmm. So the Sunday morning now, which is Boxing Day, yes, I phoned his mother and said, how is Mikey doing? And she said, well, they had to rush him to the hospital about 6-something in the morning because his breathing was, impaired. So I said, wow. So she said they tested him and they said he had COVID. So they put him in an isolation room and they said they would get back to us with more info. Mm-hmm. So I was on pins and needles all day, and at about minutes to 7 that evening, his mother called me very upset and informed me that he passed.
Gosh.
And that just totally destroyed my world. Mm-hmm. Totally destroyed my world. So anyways, Sunday was a total write-off after that for me. But in the morning, the next morning, Monday morning, mm-hmm, his sister phoned me and was filling me in on really what happened. And she said, it seems as if the fact that he was not vaccinated, mm-hmm, they just left him in a room and no one gave him any oxygen, Ventolin, nothing to treat his underlying condition, why he even went to the hospital, mm-hmm, of not being able to breathe.
Yeah.
And they came back. I don't know how long they left him there, but by the time they went back in the room, which was probably about 2, 3 something, they found him on the ground dead.
Oh gosh.
From not being able to breathe.
Yeah.
So to me, this is only my humble opinion. If you're not able to breathe, that means you're going to die. So I don't think that has anything to do with COVID. So
you suspect it's like he suffocated, so to speak.
He suffocated, yes. And they're actually running an investigation now on his death. But I know nothing is going to come of that because, everything has to be COVID these days. I mean, this is just me.
Yeah.
I'm not putting out any official anything, but, I know, yeah.
I clearly understand your assessment of the situation. And we just want to express our deepest condolences to you, to his family, and to all of Visionary's fans, not just those in Canada, but the world over, as his music his music transcended all borders and boundaries. And may his soul rest in peace. We're happy for the contribution that he made to the music. As I did in my intro, I mentioned the fact that he was definitely onto positive music, and that you have to give to him, and good high quality productions every time. And we do have a number of friends also who are grieving in the Greater Toronto area, like yourself.
Yes,
and so we just wanted to take a few moments this morning so that persons here and otherwise can also learn a little bit more about Visionary and the contribution that he made. And thank you for the contribution that you made to his career as well, as he was on this journey, giving the world good, positive music. I implore you to be strong, and we'll definitely stay in touch, Janet. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I just would like to say thanks to everybody that's been reaching out. My phone has never rang so much in my life. I actually didn't sleep for 24 hours answering phone calls.
I understand.
And I'd just like to say thank you to some people that, was in there in this corner. Like Troy from Energy Radio 1 in New York. He's done a tremendous job, like pushing out his music to everyone. God bless him. And, he has another radio personality, Tutor B from Roots Reggae Radio.
Big up, Sir B, yes.
Toronto. Yes, and of course Tony Traffic Man for making the link. Yeah, and just
one family.
Right. I mean, even Barry O'Hare was an intricate part of our growth. He produced practically every song that Visionary has done, and it was a big loss when he passed on last year due to so-called quote-unquote COVID symptoms also.
Yes.
So, I would just like to tell everybody that has, been there and is reaching out to me, thank you so much. It really means a lot, and it's really given me a lot of strength, because this has really just devastated my world. The world is not the same right now for me, and I'm just here because I'm breathing. Otherwise, I'm not really even here.
I understand. I give you my sympathy, my deepest condolences, and I wish you well. All the best for the new year when it comes, Janet. Stay strong and be safe, all right?
Yes, and everybody please be safe out there and try and stay out of hospitals.
All right. Janet, ladies and gentlemen, manager for the late Visionary. I'm watching you, Ray, having a good time like we are in the studios here on Bridge 99 FM. Good morning, Ray. How are you? I'm doing well also. I think it's fair to call you a Soca princess. Would you accept that?
Well, we do have a Soca princess already, so what they call me is the Soca sweetheart. So we could go with that one.
They call you the what? The Soca what?
The Soca sweetheart.
Oh, okay. Sweetheart.
Yeah. We have a Soca princess already.
Yes. I got you. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Welcome to Up and Go here on the Bridge 99 FM. How's Trinidad this morning, by the way?
I'm actually in the States. So I'm from Trinidad, but I'm in the States right now. So I can't judge for what's happening in Trinidad right now. It's still crazy with COVID. The States is not doing too much better, but trying to stay as safe as possible. It's cold right now. I'd rather be in Trinidad right now, but taking it one day at a time, preparing for a performance that I have tomorrow as well. So.
Okay, but your music is definitely gaining in popularity in Trinidad. I'm interested to find out how you actually got started in the music business. Take us to the very beginning.
So if we're taking it from the very beginning, I've been singing since I was small, walking through the house, everybody telling me to hush my mouth, just singing nonstop. So I ended up going to school for singing at Frank Sinatra High School of the Arts. And that's where I studied like classical and just learning techniques and learning to read music and so on and so forth. But it was really about 2.5 years ago, I woke up and I was like, nah, like I gotta do this for real. Like this has to happen for real, for real, for real. And my cousin, who is friends with Darryl Gervais is also my manager, and he is a songwriter as well. He writes for Kes, who is one of the biggest artists out of Trinidad. Mm-hmm. And he connected us together, and I had a conversation with him. And it was really just more to kind of get advice as to how I could proceed to kind of get my foot in the door to get into the industry and things like that. Mm-hmm. But the conversation went so smooth that it turned into him actually writing my first song ever. And he never left my side. He never let me do anything on my own. And he kind of just was showing me the ropes. And when I went on my radio interviews in Trinidad, he slipped up on the station and called himself my manager. And from the time he did that, it was kind of just like, well, then we hit the ground running because now somebody knew who to contact, how to get into contact with Ray, how to get things from Ray, how to send rhythms and singles and things like that. Yes. And that's really how it kind of started.
How God started.
We followed up on a big rhythm called the Tutor rhythm, and literally just been moving ever since then.
Okay, fantastic. And he's still a part of your team, I suspect.
Yes.
Fantastic. So what inspired the stage name Ray?
So my full name is Rachel. And growing up, everybody just kind of called me Ray Ray. My friend's mom, one day she was like, you know what? Ray Ray is kind of like ringing a bell for me. And everybody it stuck with that. Then it turned into somebody calling me Ray Charles because I sing. And then that stuck. And then eventually it just kind of got boiled down to Ray. But the common denominator was always at least the Ray aspect. So it kind of it stuck and I loved it. And I have been known as Ray for a very, very, very long time. It's just,
Ray.
It's had other things with it, but we just kind of decided that we'll just use Ray to kind of continue the journey.
And you spell it R-A-E, right?
R-A-E, yes.
Okay, the Soca sweetheart, ladies and gentlemen. There are a number of very prominent females in the Soca army. People like Destra, Alison Hines, Nyla Blackman, Fayon Lyons come to mind. Who are some of your major influences into the Soca arena?
I think for me, it's definitely Patrice Roberts is one of the ones I would name at the top because seeing her growing up was actually the reason why I felt like I could get into Soca because I'm accustomed to singing like R&B and them kind of things and always loved Soca as my culture and always loved Soca as a genre, but never really considered it as something that I could personally pursue and sing. And it was one day that I saw Patrice performing live and I was like, but wait, I was like, Patrice could sing. Like she could sing. Like, but hold on, if she could sing on Soca, I could do that too. So it really kind of started with that. But definitely the females in the industry, hats off to all of them because it's not an easy industry for the females. You know, it's slim pickings for us compared to the males. Like if you just judge by how many males they are versus how many females they are, and they all do their thing, they all hustle, they all really put hard work into everything that they do. So definitely giving all the females their flowers. Like Alison Hines, like come on, as the queen. Yeah. And as the queen right there. So, you know, Denise Pelfon, growing up, watching her, I'm like, oh, I'm about to be the new whining queen. Like, you know, like that's me. So it's definitely several of them that I think I look up to and could attribute a lot of things that I feel and want to give to Soca.
All right. What can you tell us about your latest recording? Is the title of it Hot Topic or do you call it Group Chat?
So the title is Hot Topic.
Uh-huh.
I think just because of the repetition of the song, people like to say group chat, but the title is Hot Topic because we wanted to do something different and not take what was constantly said in the song as the title of the song, which is normally what you would see happen. Because the overall topic of the conversation is that Adamo and I, we are the hot topic. And because of that, we have the group chat going off constantly. So it started off as, a rhythm. And when I heard that there were multiple collabs on the rhythm, I was like, well, then we need to hit this rhythm with a collab as well. And Adamo was a great, great, great artist to have on as a collab. And I absolutely love the project. I think we did a great job.
All right. The connection just kind of went a little bit haywire there. But you said you have a performance. Is it tonight or tomorrow night?
Tomorrow. We're doing tomorrow's for New Year's / a birthday kind of celebration because my birthday was yesterday.
Oh, okay.
So it's kind of just like tying everything in.
All right. I hope you had a good day yesterday, and I wish you all the best for the year ahead. Talking about the year ahead, Ray, what are your plans for 2022? What can we look forward to from you?
Oh, so much. Definitely more releases. My goal is to keep constant in the releases, but give quality with the releases, as well as we definitely want to work on putting out an EP for 2022. So hitting wherever there is carnivals, we will definitely hit those. Just giving more releases, more visual content as well. And definitely the EP is one of the big goals for 2022.
Well, I hope 2022 is your best year yet. And it was really great talking with you. I hope your performance goes down well tomorrow. And I just want to wish you all the best going forward. And we'll definitely continue to monitor your progress in the music industry. And we wish you well. Your social media contact points, what you want to leave with us. Where can you be found?
So everybody could find me at itsray.official. And as you said before, I spell Ray with an E. And once you get to the Instagram, itsray.official, you can find any and everything you need in the link in my bio, all the songs, all the other social media pages, TikTok, whatever else it is. I can't even think of all the social media platforms right now. But once you get to my Instagram, you can find everything you need right there and stay up to date with performances and anything that's coming your way.
All right. You're going to be hot topic for a long time to come, Ray. All the best to you. Take care. Great talking.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Have blessings. Happy New Year's to everybody.
Thank you so much.
Richie B, the party master on Up and Go, The Bridge, 99 FM.